Following an invitation to view a video, the lovable little Snoopy hopped online and with great excitement sat down to view this video that he had heard so much about. After waiting 2 hours for the thing to download, poor little Snoopy was devastated. He was crushed that someone he had decided to forgive and once again extend his hand of friendship to would treat him so meanly. Yes, you've guessed it. It was the height of meanness from the malevolent and mischievous moaning Mona. But what could he do? He noticed that some of his friends, all good Fotki folk, had been taken in by the scheming Mona and her libellous litany of licentious lies. One thing was clear. He had to set the record straight. As an act of public conscience, the good Fotki folk had to be warned that there was a philandering photo-shopping plunderer in their midst, and that she needed to be dealt with like a virus before the lies spread too far. Not since the Clone Wars and the Battle of Geonosis has the heroic Jedi Knight, Snoopy, been called upon to do such battle as he is now drawn into, once again against his will. His opponent, the soulless droid army of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, is led by the perennially irascible moaning Mona. You can see by the changing icon here that Snoopy's patience is wearing thin. But how to go about this mission? A humble fellow, young Snoopy decided to call in an expert, a professor of iconography from the Department of Fotki Avatars from the New York University School of Medicine. Professor Snoop Newton, no relation, had much to say. Yes, tracking the history and development of these disturbing avatars clearly shows the evolution of a diseased mind. Snoopy has done incredibly well to keep the lid on this unfortunate specimen. Here we see the development of Mona's avatars from this little sweetie that Mona has clearly stolen a photo of from somewhere on the web, through fireworks, UFOs she claims to have seen, and then to the planets and some more bizarre creations. We all know Mona would dearly love to be able to take photos like Snoopy. Dream on. Hold on for a moment while I get a box of tissues. This is where the psychosis really starts to set in. Clearly with aspirations to try the blonde lifestyle, this is reflected in this icon. Much more about this blonde infatuation in the next instalment of this gripping saga. Bit of a worry this one, quite disturbing for some reason. Now it's starting to get really sad. Is nothing sacred? One theme that comes through this study of the icons is that Mona is clearly infatuated with young Snoopy. Here we see the Honourable Snoopy refusing to be seduced in spite of her ploy to use his favourite food, Vegemite, to trap him. Stand firm, young Snoop. This trial will soon be over and you'll emerge the victor again. Who knows what was in her sad little mind when she photoshopped this one. Professor Newton concluded his study with this story of a recent flight that he had been on, which lays the axe to the root of Mona's real problems. On a transatlantic flight, a plane passes through a severe storm. The turbulence is awful, and things go from bad to worse when one wing is struck by lightning. One woman in particular loses it. Screaming, she stands up in the front of the plane. "I'm too young to die." Then she yells, "Well, if I'm going to die, I want my last minutes on earth to be memorable. I've had plenty of good experiences in my life, but no one has ever made me feel like a woman. Well, I've had it. Is there anyone here who can make me feel like a woman?" For a moment there is silence. Everyone has forgotten their own peril. and they all stare riveted at the desperate woman at the front of the plane. Then a man stands up in the rear of the aircraft. "I can make you feel like a woman." He's gorgeous, tall, tanned, well-built, with long flowing brown hair and hazel green eyes. He starts to walk slowly up the aisle, unbuttoning his shirt one button at a time. No one moves. The woman is breathing heavily in anticipation as the stranger approaches. He removes his shirt. Muscles ripple across his chest as he reaches her. He extends the arm holding his shirt towards the trembling woman and whispers, "Iron this." "See you around, Mona."